Imagine waking up to a world that has finally gone quiet. No notifications from your bank, no payment due reminders, no stress in your chest when you look at your credit card balance. Because last night something impossible happened. Everyone, every single person on earth decided to stop paying their debts. It sounds like a dream, doesn't it? A global delete button for our biggest burdens. But as you walk down the street, you realize that the silence isn't peaceful. It's the sound of a machine that has suddenly lost its fuel. Our world isn't built on gold or labor anymore. It's built on a promise to pay. And that promise was just broken. To understand why the world would freeze, we have to understand what debt actually is. Most people think debt is a math problem. It's not. It's a psychological contract. Anthropologists like David Graeber suggest that debt is the oldest way we've found to keep society together. Before money, we had favor debt. I give you a fish today, you owe me a favor later. But today, those threads have become steel chains. In our modern system, your debt is someone else's asset. Your mortgage is the bank's wealth. Your credit card interest is someone's pension fund. When you stop paying, you aren't just saving money. You are erasing the wealth of the institutions that keep the lights on. Experts warn that if the promise to pay vanished, our physical world would likely follow. We operate on a system called fractional reserve banking. Banks don't actually have your money sitting in a vault. They've lent it out. When payments stop, banks run out of cash instantly. Your credit card stops working at the gas station. International shipping freezes because no bank will guarantee the payment for a cargo ship full of grain. This is the irony of our modern age. We have more technology than ever, but we are more fragile than a medieval village. Without credit, the global supply chain would likely paralyze within days. We would realize very quickly that we can't eat digital numbers. The idea of a mass debt cancellation isn't new. In ancient Mesopotamia, kings practiced what we now call a debt jubilee. But it wasn't a desperate reaction to a crisis. It was a planned, systematic mechanism. They knew that if the common people became too indebted to the elite, society would tear itself apart. They wiped the slate clean to ensure the survival of the kingdom. Today, we consider this impossible. We are told that every penny must be repaid no matter the human cost. But history shows that sometimes the only way to save the future is to forget the past. In 2008, one small country came close to testing this theory: Iceland. You might have heard that they saved the people and jailed the bankers. While there is truth to that, the reality was much more painful. It wasn't an overnight miracle. Iceland went into a brutal recession. Their economy shrank by 7% in a single year. Unemployment quadrupled. It was a controversial, pragmatic, and often desperate political struggle. They even faced a diplomatic crisis when they refused to repay billions to foreign creditors. But Iceland chose a different path than the rest of the world. They eventually forgave a massive portion of household debts that exceeded 110% of home values. It took years of suffering, but by deleting the unpayable debt, they allowed their citizens to eventually breathe again. They didn't just fix the banks, they repaired the people. So, what would happen if we all stopped paying? In the short term, a likely collapse of the world as we know it, hunger, chaos, and a bitter struggle for survival. But in the long term, perhaps a rebirth. Debt is a tool used to steal time from your future self and give it to your present self. But eventually, the future arrives, and the bill is always due. We live in a world where we are told that the system is permanent, but the system only exists because we all agree to keep believing in it. Tonight, when you look at your bank account, ask yourself, do you own your things? Or do the things you owe own you?